Okay, so trying this out, see if this works. Hopefully this is chapter 11, review. This is review for the test for chapter 11. So, Mrs. Brunell has had a lot of technical issues already today, so sorry for I'll get it together now. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is just match the shapes. I taught you this, I feel like, a couple weeks ago now, but this is a sphere, so we match the sphere to the sphere. This is a cylinder, so the cylinder goes to the cylinder, cone goes to the cone, and then the cube goes to the cube. We have, it says, do the sentences describe a cube? So we're only talking about the cube, and since there's one right here, we can look at this one to help us. It says a cube has 4 faces. So that means that there are basically four sides of a cube. But if we look at this cube, does it have 4 faces on it? We have to look. Well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it would be 5, 6. So no, it does not have 4 faces. It would have 6. A cube has 8 vertices. So you have to think of the vertex as a corner. So if we look at it and we say, does it have 8 corners? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it does. A cube has 14 edges. So these are the edges that go all around it. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, it does not have 14. It has 12. And then each face of the cube is a square. So that means every time we look at the cube, on every side of the cube, it should be a square. And it is, so that's a yes. Then this says, rewrite each sentence that is not true to make it a true statement. And that's why when Mrs. Brunell was doing this, I figured out what the real answer was so that we would know. So we could say, so this one is, a cube has 4 faces. That one is not correct. It has 6 faces. So we're going to just say, a cube has 6 faces. And then that one's done. And this, my other no one is a cube has 14 edges. We're just going to say a cube has 12 edges. Okay, and then that one's done, and everything else is a yes. Next page of this, we're going to draw lines to show thirds. And then we're going to do it 2 different ways. So the first time, I'm going to do it this way. And then the next time, I'm going to do it the other way. So I turned this into 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is explain how you know that the parts are thirds. And we can just say, I drew lines to show 3 equal, because remember, they all have to be equal parts. Each part makes a third. Number 4, Will and Anna have gardens that are the same size. They each divide their gardens into fourths. What are 2 different ways they can divide the gardens? And then it says draw to show your answer. So 2 different ways we can divide it into fourths. Well, I can put this one in half. And then if I put it in half again, that's fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one, I saw this on Think Central. They did it like this. So it went up like this. Whoops, a little crooked, but. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And they would be equal if Mrs. Brunell used a ruler. Perfect job. So this says draw to show halves, thirds, and fourths. Color a half of, a third of, and a fourth of the shape. So we're going to do halves, thirds, and fourths. So again, you could do it this way, or you could do it the other way, and then you would color. It says to color it in, color a half of. So I'm coloring half of that shape. And then the next one, I'm going to do a third. And I'm going to do it this way, I think. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to color the bottom third in this one. And then the last one is fourths. So I'm going to cut it right across its tummy. And then down through the middle. And those are fourths, and I'll color this one in. Next page says, Max wants to cover the rectangle with color tiles. Explain how you would estimate the number of square tiles he would need to cover the rectangle. So Mrs. Brunel is just going to draw a little light line there to see. Well, this would be like another one here. And then I would go all the way down. And then if I draw a line over here, I can see it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he would need 6 tiles. So, and again, it's kind of an estimate of it because it's not exact, but we would estimate. So we could say, I estimate I'm going to say it would need 6 square tiles. And then we look at it and we say, all right, so how many rows are there? And then how many columns are there? So how many rows are there? There are 2 rows. And then there's 2 rows of 3 tiles. So we could say 2 rows with 3 tiles in each row. The next one says, Jenna built this rectangular prism. Circle the number of unit cubes that Jenna used. I can see that there are 2 rows of here, a bottom row and a top row. And if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the top, then I know there has to be 6 on the bottom holding that up because it's not crooked. So I'm going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that's the top, say, and then the bottom would have another 6. Rachel makes a pentagon and a quadrilateral with toothpicks. She uses 1 toothpick for each side of a shape. How many toothpicks does Rachel need? So, how many sides does a pentagon have? She has pentagon equals 5. A quadrilateral, quad means 4 sides. She uses 1 toothpick for each side. So I figured out the sides. Altogether, I have 9 sides. And then I would need how many toothpicks? I would need 9 toothpicks because I need 1 toothpick for each side. Last page. Kevin drew 2-dimensional shapes that had angles in all, 9 angles in all. 2-dimensional shapes that had 9 angles in all. Draw the shapes Kevin could have drawn. So, we need to find something, 2 different shapes that have 9 angles in it. So, if I did, what makes 9? I could even go back to this question I just did. This makes 9. A pentagon and a quadrilateral makes 9. So, we could do that. So, we could do a pentagon and a quadrilateral. I'm going to do pentagon here. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. I'm circling my angles. I don't know if you can actually see that or not. Hopefully you can. And then over here I'm going to do, and this is, I can even label it, pentagon. And then this is going to be a quadrilateral. And this is going to have 4 sides on it for a quadrilateral. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a quadrilateral. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has 4 sides, but it also has 4 angles. So altogether, this has 5 angles, and this has 4. So altogether, it's 9 angles. Number 10. Fill in the bubble next to the shapes that show fourths. So we have to look. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can even do 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's 4 there. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. But are they equal? They are not equal, so this one does not show fourths if it's not equal sizes. This one has 1, 2, so that's a half. It's not that one because we're looking for fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and are they equal sizes? Yes, they are, so that one is also fourths. So you have to make sure that when you're doing this, that if they are not equal parts, it does not count as fourths. They have to have equal parts in order to be considered a fourth. So the last one says, draw each shape where it belongs in the chart. So this says shapes with fewer than 4 angles, and this one said shapes with more than 3. More than 3, fewer than 4. So this one has angles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Mrs. Brunel is going to go through and write how many each one of them has, and then I'll draw them after. So that one has 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So fewer than 4. And this one is more than 3. So what's going to go over here? My triangles are going to go over here. So then I have to try to draw these. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to count that as this one. And then this one is going to be boop, boop, boop. Okay, so those are my 2 triangles. So I did this one and this one. Shapes with fewer than 4. This is more than 3. So I'm going to put the rectangle there. That one has 4. Done. This one I'm going to try to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mrs. Brunel is not the best artist in the world. I have a tough time with shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it has 6. And then this one has 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's more than 3, fewer than 4. The other thing I meant to say when I was up at this one, you could have chosen different shapes too. You could have done a triangle, which would have been 3, and then a hexagon, which is 6. You could have done a square here instead of a rectangle too. So I did the quadrilateral because it's any 4-sided shape. So that's it for the review lesson for today. Have a great day. Go on Think Central and do it on there so that you practice for the test the next day you take the test. And I will talk to you guys. We're done with chapter 11 too. So I will talk to you guys for the next chapter we're going to do. Have a great day. Bye.